What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Tyler. You also know me as the Geode Cracker and Collector. And if you're familiar with my channel and you've been around here a while, you'll know that not so long ago, I had the chance to meet up with one of our subscribers here, one of the very active members of this community and many other rock hounding communities here on YouTube, Greg. I know he doesn't like his photo shared, so sorry, Greg, but that was myself and Greg and my brother and sister-in-law out while we were camping. We stayed out west near the Mississippi River. I did not do a whole lot of filming out there. I'll show you guys the clips of what I did record while I was out there. Woo! What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. My name's Tyler. You also know me as the Geode Cracker and Collector. We are out in the Keokuk area. We found a nice creek. We're gonna do a little bit of geode collecting, and I got my first geode. Not bad. First creek we've been able to find in the area to hunt some geodes, and I'm gonna have some folks joining me here in just a moment, but sit tight. I will be right back with you, but it's gonna be a good day.
Sunk into the bucket.
Yep.
Is that a geode sunk?
'Twas a geode sunk. Oh, you're on camera. Just a little bit. This is everybody joining up. I'll probably adjust it and all that, but yeah, I've found two little guys, but I'm thinking maybe push down a little bit. I don't know how much of a rocky bank we're gonna have here. All right, so we're on the board with a few geodes. Find a nice little area, nice and populated. There's lots of folks out. Just gave a group some tips on how to find them. Told them about my how to spot a geode video, so we're having fun. Jen's found some. Aaron, everybody's on the board. Everybody's found a geode, so everybody. Yep, that was it. It was just more exploring and trying to find an area that was good and fun for everybody, and my focus was just making sure everybody had a good time and not on making a video, because then that just takes away from, you know, the experience and being with everybody, because then my focus is on just making the video. But while I was there, oh my goodness, wow, this right here is some limestone, and as you can see right here peeking out, there's a geode inside of there. Well, you know what, let's go over to the workbench and I'll show you guys a little better. All right, so here we are. Like I said, this thing is pretty massive. We can see the geode poking out here. All this right here is the limestone post rock, but on this side we can also see parts of the geode poking out, and like I just realized earlier, this thing is a rattler. So we're gonna cut this thing in half because I'm pretty darn excited. But first, I've got my scale here. It was in the splash zone when I was cutting last. I want to see how much this thing weighs. So let me get this on screen here. 9 pounds, we'll say 13 ounces. Now a lot of that has to do with the limestone as well, but this is a big guy. So it's gonna be a mission to get it cut, so bear with me, but it's gonna be something awesome. Well, all right, here we are. This is my saw, my awesome 10-inch slab saw made by none other than High Tech Diamond. I'll have a link down below for all of their info. Now this thing is gonna be, like I said, it's gonna be a mission to cut out of here. So my goal is to try and cut along this way to limit the amount of actual limestone we're cutting through and to get a nice big face on the geode that's hiding in there. So we're gonna do the best we can. Like I said, it's a bigger piece, so a lot of times with something this big that's bigger than the blade. Sometimes it'll just grab a hold of that blade, so it'll end up stopping. So I'm gonna take my time with this. I don't wanna blow a fuse or anything like that in the machine, so, whew. So just bear with me, guys. I am gonna go ahead and I'm gonna flip it over and we're gonna do a time lapse because like I said, I do think this one is gonna take quite a bit of time, but for you guys, it's gonna be like that. So let's get it switched over. All right, so, oh my goodness, I'm wearing a different shirt. It's been like a week since I cut this thing, and oh my God.
Oh my God.
You guys are not gonna believe what is inside of this geode. I will show you, don't worry, we need this moment right now, guys. Everybody needs to compose themselves and be prepared because I found a secondary inside of this geode that I've never come across before. It took me a couple days to pinpoint what exactly it was. Now remember earlier in the video, I shook it. I'm gonna play that clip for you again. Now to me, that sounds like coins. That sounds like pennies or something rattling around in there. Did anybody else have that thought? It just sounded like something big and something metallic inside of there. And it was something big and something metallic. So, I'm gonna do this kind of in a weird way. I'm gonna show you guys a picture of the secondary that I found inside of here. I was able to reconstruct the crystal, okay? But I'm gonna show you guys first. It came out in 4 pieces. Check it out. All right, so those are the 4 pieces that came out. They were really, really dirty. It was really difficult to try and tell what they were. So I went ahead and I dipped these things and I put them in some uriatic acid. Check this out. All right, so there we saw one of those pieces of the crystal or the mineral, whatever it is. We saw one of those pieces in the muriatic acid. All of them did end up going into it, but I only had the clip of the one. As you saw, it was a very mild reaction. Comparing the 2 pictures from the first to the second, there wasn't a whole lot that was clean, but it was just enough for me to see a little bit more of that metallic luster and give me a little bit more of an idea of what it is, show me some more indicators and things like that. So when I first encountered this, you know, I saw those 4 broken pieces and we were able to shake the geode and we heard it rattling around. But after looking at these pieces, I came to the conclusion that some of those were loose and kind of floating around inside of the geode. But there was one in particular that I'm assuming was still attached to the geode because this piece had a cut down the middle. So you'll notice when I show you this a little bit later, you'll see there's one portion of it where you can see the flat segment where the pieces were glued back together. So those 2 pieces that were cut gave me a nice cross section, and inside it looked a lot like pyrite. So I focused all my research and all my time for a couple days on trying to figure out what kind of pyrite it exactly was, and it led me nowhere. It led me to absolutely nothing. So I kind of had to broaden my search and really had nothing to start with aside from the fact that it was a metallic crystal. So I busted out this bad boy right here. This is the National Audubon Society's Field Guide to Rocks and Minerals. This is specifically the rocks and minerals of North America. And I was able to look through this and I found a picture that looks relatively close to the mineral I had in my hands. And from there, I was able to track it down online and figure out that it is not pyrite. It sounds like pyrite, but it is actually pyrolusite, which is actually a manganese dioxide. It's a growth habit of manganese, whereas Whereas pyrite is an iron crystal, it's an iron sulfide. So these things are a little bit different, but they look very similar. This pyrolusite has got a metallic luster very similar to pyrite. So it confused me for a while, but I was able to figure it out. I still may not be 100%. This is to the best of my capabilities as an amateur rock collector, not having any sort of geological training, and just using the tools at my disposal to kind of figure out what it is. So this is my assumption, is it's pyrolusite. So if there's somebody out there watching that knows better than me and can tell me that it's not, as much as it would break my heart, let me know. But anyways, I think it is about time that we head outside. We're gonna go outside in the sunlight. I'm gonna show you that crystal first, and then we're gonna check out the geode that this thing grew inside of, and then we're gonna come back inside. So bear with me, we're gonna go outside. All right guys, so we are out in my yard, and I'm gonna show you guys this little crystal here. Now again, just a reminder, I did glue these pieces back together, so there are some indications that show there is some glue. It's not going to be in the part that'll be visible, and I've never had to glue something back together, but I was so excited for this. But here we go. Check this thing out. All right, so we can see back there is the glue I'm talking about, and right here is where that crystal was still attached. So we actually ended up cutting it just a little bit, but that real long piece that we saw in the photo is the center. So thankfully that part had fallen out, and we were able to glue all the other pieces back on there. So check this thing out. How gnarly is that? Now, let's get to what we've all been waiting for. Let's see what the heck is inside this geode. All right, we are gonna take a peek at this geode out here first, really quick, and then we are gonna get back inside the garage and we're gonna look at it a little bit more. All right, so first off, here's the size of the geode again, just to refresh everybody's memory. Okay, and we can see we went right down the middle of it like we wanted. But check this thing out. Look at that. Look how flippin' beautiful that is. Now it's gonna be a mission to polish because unfortunately we did not get the greatest cut on it. But look at the banding inside of the rind. That beautiful botryoidal chalcedony in there. Just wait till you see the other half. All right, and here we are. This is the bigger half. Check this thing out. How nuts is that? But this thing is absolutely ridiculous. All right, let's get inside, getting a little bit of a better lighting, and I'll show you guys where that pyrolusite crystal grew inside of this thing. All right, so here we are, guys. We are back inside the shop. We've got these two beautiful halves of this geode sitting here, and like I said, these things are just absolutely nuts. I don't want to spray and get the whole thing wet, so I'm just going to kind of do my best to keep this cut edge here nice and hydrated so that we can really see all those details going on there. But oh my goodness, this thing is absolutely crazy. So first off, before we put that piece down, to show you guys, right in here there's some more that is growing. You can see those sprays go into the chalcedony a little bit, and then we can see some more little needles right there just above my finger. Another little cluster to the left there. Really, really awesome stuff. And then on this other half, we can see right down here, there's a little bit sticking out, and as well as couple of little clusters here and there. Now, in this big geode, we also had another growth, another secondary that was sitting right there, but it fell off. and it is this little crystal here, which does not have any UV reaction. I did investigate to try and determine what it is. But this little guy also has some pyrolusite growing inside of it. We can see the tip of it sticking out, and it's a little harder to see, but you can see there's kind of like the little needles going inside of there. So this is a little crystal will end up gluing back in place at some point, along with the actual cluster of the pyrolusite. But this grew right there. So when that sits in place, that is how it's gonna look. And what's really cool about that is it extends out of the geode. How sick is that? So if that crystal wasn't already loose inside of there, we would have been in a much more difficult position, because it probably would have just blew up all this if it would have hit it right. But there's this little shard here that had already broken off, and like I showed you, this big chunk here had already broken. So there were only 2 pieces that actually wound up being cut. So once we get this bad boy polished up and we get that back in place, this is going to be an amazing geode. Oh my goodness. So I hope you guys aren't disappointed by this. I know I kind of hyped this up a little bit, but not only is it my favorite mineral to find inside of a geode, it's got this ridiculous secondary that I've never encountered before. It's just overall such a beautiful, beautiful specimen. I cannot wait to get into polishing some of this. I'm definitely going to take you guys along on that journey, because I came to the realization this half we shouldn't have any issues polishing, because we should be able to set the I don't know, the bolt, the little, you know, screw part that holds down your polishing pad. That can sit right inside of there, and then just using some extra caution, I should be able to polish this guy, keeping that in the center. This one, on the other hand, is going to be a different story, because this geode is not deep enough for that that piece of the polisher to fit inside there comfortably. So this one we may not be able to use the traditional method. We might have to bust out the orbital sander for that guy, which you guys have never even seen my orbital sander. So maybe we'll have a crazy rookie rockhounding style polishing video. But thank you guys so much for hanging out. I appreciate every single one of you. If you are new to the channel and this is the first of my videos that you're seeing, I hope that you consider subscribing and clicking that bell notifications, setting the notifications to all. Don't forget to smash that like button if you did enjoy today's video. Don't go anywhere too quick, because there will be some sunlight photos for you guys. Here they are.